In this video, we're going to take a look at how we can work with MEP schedules in Autodesk Revit. Here you can see I have several mechanical components placed, and I already have a schedule created to show me that equipment. So I'm going to expand my schedules quantities and then double click on mechanical equipment schedule. I can see several items here. Based on their type marks, I can tell that most of these are air handling units, but I've got a couple here that are not labeled with a type mark. I can see the space they're located in, janitor, so that's a clue of where they might be. But in order to find them, I will just simply click in one of the empty rows here and select Highlight in Model. Revit's letting me know that there are no open views to show this particular item, so I'll click OK to have it open an additional view. Here I can see a plan view of this item. I can continue clicking Show to see more views, but I'm pretty happy with this one, so I will click Close. Here we can see as I zoom out, it is the water heaters that were placed in the janitor rooms. To adjust the type mark then, I will just simply click Edit Type, scroll down until I see the type mark field, and then enter in a new value of HW-1. I will click OK, and since I'm editing the type, it's going to affect all of the other ones as well. In this case, this one in the other janitor room. If I return to my mechanical equipment schedule, I can see that they are both now updated to show HW1. If I want to change any mark numbers, those can be done directly in the properties. So for example, here is this one water heater, and I can see its mark number is 49. However, it might be easier to change values in the schedule. For example, I can see these air handling units are not numbered the same as the rest. So rather than go and find those in the views and adjust their properties, I can just change them here, and those values will update in the properties for those items. All of our air handlers are manufactured by the same company, so we're going to add that information in from the manufacturer of ME Unlimited. Now this is a type property, so when I enter that in, I'm warned that it's going to change all of them. I'll go ahead and click OK, and I can see indeed that is exactly what happened. Next, I'm going to change the type of one of my air handlers so that we can see the effect here in the schedule. I'm going to move to my mechanical plan for my south wing, and this air handler here that is servicing the office, I'm going to change its properties. So I'll select the air handler here, and I can see that it currently has a unit size of 24. I'm going to change this to 12. I don't really see any visual changes here, but if I return to my equipment schedule, I can see that I have this air handler unit 1 here that is blank as far as the manufacturer. So I want to change this name since it's a different type. So I can do that still back here in the view. I'll edit the type of this air handler, and I will give it the type mark of air handling unit 2. Now when I return to my schedule, I can see that that has been updated. This one is also manufactured by the same company, so since I've used the ME Unlimited before, when I click on the manufacturer cell, I can click the 3 dots here and choose that value from the drop-down. Once again, it's warning me that it's going to adjust the type and change all the others of the same type. I'll go ahead and click OK. Of course, that's the only one, so it's not really going to change anything else anyways. Next, we'll take a look at a plumbing schedule. I'm going to open up my plumbing fixture schedule. And as you can see, there's a lot of information in here, so we're going to use some sorting and grouping to clean this up a little bit. Also, you'll notice that as I scroll down, I can't see the headers across the top. So while I'm in this schedule, I'm just going to come up to my ribbon and select Freeze Header. And now you can see that as I scroll down, all my headings stay in place to make this a little more user-friendly. When a schedule is created, you can decide upon grouping and sorting at that point. You can also come back and edit it at any point in time here in the properties. I'll simply select Edit next to Sorting and Grouping. And for this one, we want to sort them by the type. You can see it's pretty haphazard out here right now in terms of how it's sorted. So I'm going to sort this in ascending order by type. I'm going to add a footer that will give me the title count and totals. And then I'm going to add in a blank line in between each group. just to make the schedule a little more easy on the eyes. I'll go ahead and click OK. And now you can see that I have these footers that tell me the types and the counts of them. And then, of course, the empty line to spread this out a little bit. So much nicer looking schedule here. Of course, once we've created these schedules, we're going to want to put them on sheets to document them. I'm going to open up my duct schedule. And we'll notice the value of varies for several of these items. Basically, things have been grouped together and I'm not seeing individual information. To fix this, I am going to edit my sorting and grouping, and I am going to select Itemize Every Instance. Then I'll click OK. Now we can see every individual instance has been listed. Of course, I have a really long schedule now. We'll address this when we place it on a sheet. I currently do not have any sheets available for my duct schedule, so I'm going to create a new one here. I'll right-click on Sheets All and choose New Sheet. I'll use the 30 by 42 horizontal sheet template here. Then I will right-click on the new name and rename it. This is going to be called M-003 for the number, and then for the name, it is simply going to be Duct Schedule. I'll go ahead and click OK. Now that schedule was so long, I'm not going to be able to fit it on one sheet. So I'm actually going to create another new sheet. Same size. And then I will rename it. Once again, this time it's M004 and then duct schedule for the name. Next, I'm going to come back to the duct schedule here, and knowing that I'm not going to be able to fit it on one sheet, from the schedule, I can split and place it at the same time on some sheets. So here on the ribbon, I can select Split and Place. It's going to split it evenly, and I'm going to tell it which sheets to split on. Knowing that it's going to go on 2 sheets, it's going to split the schedule in half and put half on each sheet. I'll go ahead and select Split and Place. It will take me to my first sheet where I can go ahead and click to place the first half of the schedule. I'm going to zoom out here a little bit so I can get the top portion placed where I want. So if I look at the 2 sheets, they each have half of this very large schedule placed. As you can see, after placing the schedule split upon the 2 sheets, they do not fit on the sheets very well. So what I can do is split them. I'll select the first set of the schedule here, and then I will use the split icon midway down on the right side here. That will split this into 2. It's still not fitting very well, so I'm going to go ahead and grab this second half and drag it over to the right to make some space here. Then on this first half, I'm going to split it again. I'll go ahead and take the second half of this one and split it as well. Then I can click and drag to move these as I wish to get them to be a little more evenly spaced. Of course, I can go ahead and go to the second sheet and do the same sort of thing. I'll split it into 2, drag the second half over to make room, split the first half, split the second half, and then once more I can come in here and rearrange these a little bit. I can also use the bottom grips on each of these to resize them. You can see as I drag this one down, the last column gets smaller since more of the information is fitting into that column. Next, we'll take a look at an electrical schedule. Here we can see that we've got several lighting fixtures placed, and I'm going to take a look at the schedules that we have in here, and we can see that we have a lighting fixture schedule. We can see that we have 22 emergency lights, 226 troffer lights with a grand total of 248. We'll notice that the emergency recessed lighting fixtures do not have any type marks. We placed those in an earlier lesson. It's probably pretty obvious where we could go to find them, but just in case, I can click inside the row here and select Highlight and Model, and it will take me to a view that shows those. I'll go ahead and click Close, and we can see that we have the emergency lights highlighted. We can see that there's a variation of schedule levels because it's also selecting some potentially on different floors. I'm going to edit the type and find my type mark and give it the mark of EM-1. Then I'll click OK. Now, if I return to my lighting fixture schedule, I can see that that has updated. We are going to place this on a couple of different sheets. Before we do that, we actually want to itemize every instance instead of having them all grouped together. So here in the Properties panel, I'm going to select Edit, Sorting and Grouping. I'm going to turn off the grand totals, and I'm going to turn on Itemize Every Instance. Then I will click OK. Now you can see we have many light fixtures here, and this is not necessarily going to fit on one sheet, so we're going to have to create a couple of sheets to get this to all fit. I'm going to scroll to Sheets All, right-click and select New Sheet. I'm going to use the 30 by 42 template, and then I am going to right-click and rename this to E003 Lighting Fixture Schedule. Then I'll create another new sheet, and it is also going to be the same size, and I will also rename it. It already has the correct number, so I will just simply enter in lighting fixture schedule for the name. Now I'm going to return to my lighting fixture schedule, and what I want to do is split and place this onto the two sheets. You can see that it's currently grayed out right now. If it's grayed out, that typically means that the schedule has already been split. If I take a look at my project browser here, I can see the lighting fixture schedule has a plus next to it, and I can see that there are 5 split versions of the lighting fixture schedule. This is most likely because the creator of these files failed to delete these split items. So what we want to do then, so that we can complete this exercise, is just simply hold Shift and select each of those and delete those splits. And you can now see that I can use Split in Place. I'll select Split in Place. I'm going to place this on the 2 new sheets I just created. I'm going to split it evenly. I'll select Split in Place. Then we'll go to the first sheet here, and I will go ahead and click to place this in here. I'm going to go ahead and split this first one here. And then I am going to split the second one here as well. Then I can use my bottom grips to resize these to fit more of the information in here, so I can get those to line up as best I can. Then I'll go to the second sheet, and then once again I can go ahead and split this one, and looks like it will fit in there in just 2 columns. And then of course I can move these columns apart as needed to get these spaced out nice and evenly. That concludes this look at working with MEP schedules in Autodesk Revit.